friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. So I wanted to do a video where I rank my highlights because you guys really seem to enjoy my ranking my palettes video, and one of you actually suggested that I rank my highlights, so it just kind of added to it. And that's what I'm gonna do today. This video most likely won't be nearly as long as the palette one because that was like 60 something palettes. I only have 20 highlights, so it's gonna be a lot shorter. It was still really hard to rank them because, I don't know, I really like pretty much all of my highlights. I have a few that I don't love and they just kind of sit around, and I'll explain that. But I really don't have a problem with any of my highlights. So it was kind of hard to rank them because they all do their job and they all do their job well. Just, I guess some do it better than others because I did end up ranking them. I do have two highlighter palettes that I didn't include in this. I have the Jeffree Star Platinum Ice palette, which is okay. I don't love Jeffree's highlight formula. And I also have the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero highlight palette, which I absolutely love, but really I only use like 2 to 3 shades in it, and I just didn't feel like it was necessary to include in this. I like it enough, I pull it out from time to time, but I didn't feel like including it in this video. This is pretty much just for my standalone single highlights. That's what it's about. I don't really have anything else to say. I guess quick disclaimer, if your favorite highlight of all time is in the bottom of my list, don't be offended. Like I said, I don't hate any of these. I just don't love some of them. And some of them are really kind of pointless for me to have, and again, I'll get into that. But I guess let's just dive right in. Really quick though, because I liked doing this last time for my ranking video, I want you to pause the video now and take a guess below at what you think my #1 favorite highlight is. If you know me pretty well and you've been watching me for a while, you probably know what my favorite is, but I just want to see how many of you can guess it. So go ahead and do that, and then we will get on to the ranking. I actually think I might swatch these just because it's not too many and I want to be able to kind of show you. But in 20th place, this one's gonna make the most sense why it's in 20th place, is Jeffree Star's Onyx Ice. This isn't a highlighter, this was his joke highlighter. It's not a highlighter, this was just him being funny. But it's literally black and shiny. It looks like, I mean, it's a cool color. It's like a bluey, purpley, silver shift. It worked really nice as an eyeshadow, but it's my number 20 last place highlight because it's not a highlight. Simple as that. In number 19th place, it could be cool in theory, maybe on darker skin, but for me it's not. It's a no-go. This is Deep Freeze. Again, it's really pretty as an eyeshadow, and I've actually used this for costumey looks before, but it is way too pigmented for me to use like on my actual face. I have tried it on my actual face. It makes me look like I'm actually dying of hypothermia. I look so cold. I mean, it's really pretty. It shifts blindingly. It's a beautiful eyeshadow, but it is not a good highlight for me. So that's why it's so low on the list. In 18th place is Icy Blue from OMFG Cosmetics. It's down this far for 2 reasons. One, I haven't really given it that much love to know how to use it to its fullest potential, but also just it's not my preferred highlight formula. Like it's just a little too chalky for my preference. I don't know if that's the right word for it. It does have a sheen to it, but I like a really blinding, shiny, shimmery, pretty much glittery highlight. That's my thing. And this just doesn't do it quite enough for me. I'll still keep it around just because I might one day just need a very blue highlight. But until that day comes, it's just gonna kind of hang out towards the bottom of my list. Next, from Glamour Doll Eyes, this is called Ghostly, and it's described as a mini highlighter slash blush. It's not a blush. It's definitely just a highlighter. And I mean, it's pretty. It has a really pretty duochrome shift to it. It's super bright, and especially like on the face, it's a very bright blue-white duochrome, but it's just not one that I reach for very often. Again, it's a similar situation where it's just not quite bright enough for me to love it that much. But I do like it, and I do need to pull it out more from time to time so I can actually get good use out of it, but it's just not my favorite. And in number 16th place, we have Crystal Ball from Jeffree Star. Quick running theme, Jeffree Star does not make my favorite highlighter formula. It's just, like, it is shimmery and it is bright, but it's just a slightly too chunky for my preference. It doesn't melt into the skin super nicely. I like my highlights to really just melt in with the rest of my skin. They're just a little too solid and chunky looking. The shade is pretty, but just compared to his other highlights, and like when I look at it up close, this just looks so chunky. It's just grabbing onto my skin in funny places. You can't tell that much from far away, but it's not my favorite. Out of all of his formula-wise, this is probably the least favorite, not counting these two because these just aren't highlights. This one's just, it fell very flat for me. So these are my bottom 5, and like I said, none of them are ugly or anything. I don't hate any of them. They're just my least favorite. Although I really, I'm not a huge fan of Crystal Ball. Let's go over my next 5. In 15th place is Jouer's Funfetti. I haven't given this that much love. I've played with it a few times. I don't love the formula. It's just a little too, I don't know, it's very sheer. I have to use a lot of it for it to really pack a punch, because other than that, it's just a very subtle shift. Like, you can barely see it on my skin. I can see it more up close, but it just doesn't do quite enough for me. Number 14 is Peach Goddess from Jeffree Star. I actually used to use this like crazy when I first got it. I used to think it was the best thing ever, which really, fact of the matter is, it's a little too dark for me, so I don't use it that often. I will reach into it from time to time, especially when I have like, I don't even want to say more of a tan because I never have a tan, but just when I'm going for more of a bronzy look, I will reach for this, but it's not too often that I'm feeling that vibe. Next, in number 13th place, this is actually the one I'm wearing today because I've been trying to get more use out of it and decide how much I really like it. And so far, I really do like it. This is from Apocalyptic Beauty. It's called Polished Bone. If you are interested in this highlight or anything on their site, you can use my code beautbean for 15% off. I don't make direct money, but I do get store credit if you make a purchase, so thank you. But it is really pretty. It has a really nice shine to it, and I do feel like it applies better to my skin than it looks on the swatch. Just has a really nice sheeny glow. It's really pretty. It doesn't have a whole lot of glitter in it. It's just shine. And I do think it's lovely. However, because I haven't gotten that much use out of it, I didn't want to put it much higher on my list because I didn't think that was fair. But really, if I just continue playing with it and liking it the way I have been the last couple days, I could see it moving higher on the list. But as of right now, this is kind of where it's sitting. In number 12th place, this is the Delicate Dew Duo from Pixi. I don't use this side ever. It's only this side. And it's really pretty. I used this like crazy when I first got it, and I think this is a gorgeous highlight. These are beautiful highlights from the drugstore. I really like them. It does swatch kind of dark, but when it's applied to my skin, it blends out a lot more. I don't want to say sheer because the shine and the wetness is still there. This is a very wet looking highlight, which I really appreciate. It blends on my skin really nice. It doesn't look too dark. I liked this a lot, and honestly, I thought this one was going to be a lot higher on my list, but some things beat it out, you know? And then number 11, this is ColourPop's Over the Moon. I adore this. I love the ColourPop Super Shock formula so much. I want more highlights because I only own 2 of them. It's so pretty. This one's cool because it's super sheer. That was a horrible swatch, Betty Jean. It's really hard to see it from this far away. It's really sheer, and then it has that purple flip to it. It's really pretty. It has these really pretty purple glitters in it. I love the way it looks on my face. It's so ethereal and fairy-like, and there's a motorcycle going nuts outside my window. When I'm going for something a little extra creative, especially with my highlight, this is always what I reach for. I think it's so pretty. I feel like this is what Funfetti should have been, but this one just beats it like crazy. The formula is just unstoppable. All right, we're halfway through. Now we're at the top 10, so I guess that was my bottom half. This is my top half. In 10th place, we have Jeffree Star's Princess Cut. I liked this a lot when I first got it. I used to think it was so pretty, and I still like it. I just don't love it. It's not my favorite, but I do like it more, I found, than the Delicate Dew one from Pixi and from the Apocalyptic Beauty one. I think it's a really pretty one. Out of all of his highlight formulas, this one seems to really hit home with me. I used to also really like Ice Cold, but I broke that one. And I also really like Lavender Snow and broke that as well. For some reason, a couple of the formulas seem to really do well, and this was one of them, so that's why it's so high up on the list as opposed to the other Jeffree Star ones. In 9th place, we have another Pixi duo. This one is Subtle Sunrise, and again, I don't use this side. It's too dark for me, but I love this. You can see how much I have dived into this. I used to use this every single day. Again, these Pixi ones are just so wet looking and beautiful. And again, it kind of swatches a little bit dark. It looks like it would be too dark for my skin, but applied on the face, it just blends out and it just adds the beautiful sheer wetness, beamingness. I can't speak, but it's really pretty. I don't know why I like this one more than the other one from Pixi. I just do. I always have gravitated towards this one more. So that's how it is. A lot of the times I actually kind of mixed the two and I really liked it. Number 8 is Give Me Glow's Porcelain Peach. I love Give Me Glow's highlight formula so much. It is one of my absolute favorites. I would own all of them. But I mean, that's so unnecessary. This is another one. It swatches kind of dark, but it's so pretty and it has the nicest shine. I'm gonna start swatching these different because I don't feel like that's working out very well. I'm gonna put it on my wrist instead. There you go. You can kind of see that shift a little bit more. It is slightly on the darker side compared to my other Give Me Glow ones especially. I probably didn't need this one, but now that I have it, I love it. And when it is blended out, it's not too dark on my actual skin. It's so shiny. I love this with peachy blush and just peachy makeup and summery things. I'll probably be busting this out really soon because it's about to be the thick of the summer. So this will be a good one to have for that. This next one is my pride and joy. I used to use this every single day for such a long time. This is Wet n Wild's Moon Tears Loose Highlight. Wet n Wild needs to make so many highlights in this formula. It's so freaking pretty. I actually expected this to be higher up on my list, but I guess it's just not. Oh my gosh, it's so sparkly and wet looking and reflective, and it just blends onto the skin so beautifully. I literally can't stress enough that I used to wear this every day for such a long time. I actually need to pull this out again and give it love again because it's just so good. This is probably my favorite Wet n Wild product of all time. It's beautiful. I don't think you can get this one anymore, which is depressing. Why are people being loud outside my window? But if you ever find a loose highlight from Wet n Wild, I highly recommend. They're so affordable and so beautiful. I don't know what number I said Wet n Wild was, but that was number 7. This is number 6. This is Fenty Beauty's How Many Carats Diamond Balm. This one is basically just sheer nothingness with glitter in it. It's so pretty. This is so up my alley for a highlight. It's so nice. I don't know how well you can see it in a swatch, but it's literally just like clear with sparkle, sheen, wetness to it. It makes your skin just look so wet and beautiful, like you literally just walked out of an ocean of diamonds or something. It's so pretty. I get compliments every time I wear it because it's just the prettiest sparkle across the face. It's not chunky at all. It just looks like your face is made of sparkle. And now we are in the top 5. These ones are my absolute favorites. I'm not very surprised that these ones are in my top 5, although number 5 kind of surprised me that it made it this far. I didn't realize I loved it that much until I was revisiting them and re-swatching them. But man, the Pop Beauty Celestial Light highlight, so good. Nobody talks about the Pop Beauty highlights, and I don't know why, because they're so pretty. Pop Beauty sent me like 4 of them a long time ago. How am I swatching these now? And I was so amazed immediately. I don't know how well you can see that swatch. I'm really bad at swatching, but it just glides onto the skin so pretty. It's another one that just looks very wet and beaming. This one doesn't have glitter in it. I don't find it to be shimmery. It's just bright and wet and lovely. And I don't know how many words I'm repeating, but I can't stress enough how much I love this highlight. It's so beautiful. Number 4, this is the highlight that made me fall in love with Give Me Glow. This is Halo. It's so pretty. I saw this on Instagram and I had to have it. The picture showed a shift from gold to blue, and I mean, it does do that. When you swatch it, it literally shifts from gold to like this cool blue color. It doesn't quite do that on the skin, I will be honest. It's more of just like a really pretty beaming gold, but man, it's bright, it's poppin', it's so pretty. Give Me Glow's highlights just, you can see them from space and I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It might potentially be slightly too dark for my pale skin, but I don't really care because it's just that pretty. I love it. I feel like it's just such a very unique color and I will never stop wearing it. Number 3, this one I've been wearing pretty much nonstop the last 2 months. This is from Give Me Glow as well. This is the Snow Angel Loose Highlight. This one is very inexpensive and I'm pretty sure it's still on their site. It's like $6. It's a loose formula so it can be messy. Oh my gosh, but it's so bright. It's like a bright white shimmery highlight. It's so pretty on the skin. It's just beaming and glowing and you look like a winter goddess, and literally it's gonna last me for the rest of my life, and I would have been content not switching to a different highlight to switch to the Apocalyptic Beauty one, but I've been using this for so long I really wanted to use something else in my collection. Number 2, this is White Noise from Give Me Glow. I love this one. Again, I love Give Me Glow's formula more than anything. It's so beautiful. And this one is just like the prettiest champagne-y, white, creamy color. It looks so beautiful on my pale skin. I love it. It's so, I can't keep repeating the same words. It's beaming, it's bright, it's lovely. I love having it in my collection. As soon as I saw it on the site, I had to have it because I knew it was going to be perfect because of just the product description and how light it looked, and I was right. I adore that highlight. And number 1, I'm sure many of you guessed what this was going to be, but this is ColourPop's Flexitarian highlight. I love this. It's so wet. This is the epitome of a wet highlight. Do you see that? It just looks like I dipped my finger and liquid highlight. It's so creamy and wet feeling. It's like a creamy wet formula. I know it doesn't swatch like that amazing, but on the skin, I use these with my beauty sponge, my damp beauty sponge. I can use it with a brush, but I just prefer it with my sponge. I just dip a little bit in it and then I tap it on my cheeks and it just meshes into the skin so beautifully. It really just puts all that highlight exactly where I put it, meshes it into the skin. It just looks like I naturally beam that wetness. I don't know. I'm all about the glow. I'm all about the dew, and this just does it for me. It's such a perfect color. This is my second one because I ran through my first one. I can't get enough of this highlight. I love it so much. I hope my descriptions weren't outrageously boring. You can only describe a highlight so many ways, but I mean, these are like all of my highlights ranked from least favorite to most favorite. And again, I don't hate any of these. I prefer some over others, and now I need to clean myself up because I'm gonna get glittery stuff everywhere if not. I would love to know what your #1 favorite highlight is because it intrigues me. I like knowing what people like to put on their face. So let me know what your #1 favorite highlight is. Do you love any of the ones I talked about? Do you hate any of the ones I talked about? I would love to hear your thoughts about it. If you enjoyed my ranking my highlights video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want me to rank anything else in my collection, let me know because I could definitely do that. These ones are very fun for me and it's very challenging for me to really break down what's my favorite in the order that I like it, you know what I mean? So let me know what else you want me to rank if you want me to do this kind of video again. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram, it's beautbean, follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe here before you leave. I post at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6, sometimes 7. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.